A warrior came to the Zen Master Hakuin and asked, "Is there such a thing as heaven and hell?" Hakuin said, "Who are you?" The warrior replied, "I am chief samurai to the emperor." Hakuin said, "You, a samurai? With a face like that, you look more like a beggar." At this the warrior became so angry he drew his sword. Standing calmly in front of him, Hakuin said, "Here open the gates of hell." Perceiving the master's composure, the soldier sheathed his sword and bowed. Hakuin then said, "And here open the gates of heaven."
Heaven and hell are not geographical. If you go in search of them, you will never find them anywhere, because they are within you. They are psychological. Mind is heaven and mind is hell. And mind is the capacity to become either. But people go on thinking everything somewhere outside. We go on looking for everything always outside, because to be inwards it's very difficult. We are outgoing. So if somebody says there is a God, we look at the sky. Somewhere sitting there will be the divine person. In a school in America, one psychologist was working, and he asked small children about God, what they think about God. Because children have a more clear perception, and they are less cunning and more true. And they are more representative of the human mind, unperverted. So he asked the children, and then their answers were collected. The conclusion was very ridiculous. In conclusion, almost all the children depicted God something like this, that God is an old man, very tall, bearded, and very dangerous. He creates fear. If you don't follow him, he will throw you in hell. If you pray and follow him, he will give you paradise and all the pleasures. And he is sitting on a throne in the sky and watching everybody. And you cannot escape him. Even in your bathroom, he is looking. The outgoing mind projects everything outside. This is your God. Don't laugh and don't think that this is a children's conception. No, this is you. This is how you think about God. A cosmic spy. And always in search to condemn, to throw you in hell, to punish, and very ferocious, revengeful. That's why all the religions are based on fear. If you do this, you will be appreciated, awarded. If you don't do this, you will be punished. But the base seems to be fear. And God seems just to be a very powerful emperor sitting on the throne in the heaven. The whole conception is foolish, but human. Human mind is foolish. The whole conception is anthropocentric. In the Bible it is said, God created man in his own image. Reality seems to be quite otherwise. Man created God in his own image. We have projected God in our own image. It is a blow-up of the human mind. A bigger human mind, that's all. Remember, if you think God outside somewhere than you have not even started the first step of being religious. And the same happens with all the conceptions. Heaven is without, hell is without. As if there exists nothing like within. What is within you? The moment you think of the within, it seems everything goes empty. What is within you? The world is without, sex is without, sin is without, virtue is without, God, heaven, hell, everything is without. What is within you? Who are you? The moment you think of the within, the mind goes blank. There is nothing. And in reality, everything is within. The out is just a projection. Fear is within you. Then the fear becomes projected in a hell. Hell is just a projected image on the screen of the fear that is within you. The anger, the jealousy, and all that is poisonous in you. All that is evil in you. And heaven is again a projected image on the screen of all that is good, beautiful, blissful within you. The devil is the fallen human being. God is the risen human being. God is the ultimate possibility of your beatitude. Devil is the ultimate fall of you. There is nobody like devil existing somewhere. You will never meet him unless you become him. And you will never encounter God unless you become God. In the East, religions transcended this anthropocentric attitude very, very long ago in the past. Eastern religions are non-anthropocentric. They say you cannot encounter God, you can become. When you reach to the ultimate point of existence, there will be no God to receive you and welcome you. Only you will be there in your godliness. So this can be said, and I go on insisting, that there exists no God, but existence is divine. There exists no one like a person, a super person, no one. God is non-existential, but godliness is existential. The moment I say godliness, it becomes something inward. The moment you say God, You have projected it. This story is beautiful. This Zen Master Hakuin is one of the rare flowerings. A warrior came to him, a samurai, a great soldier, and he asked, "Is there any hell? Is there any heaven? And if there is a hell and a heaven, where are the gates? From where to enter? How to avoid? How to avoid the hell and how to choose the heaven? Where are the gates?" A simple warrior, and warriors are always simple. It is difficult to find a businessman who is simple. He is always cunning, clever, otherwise he cannot be a businessman. A warrior is always simple, otherwise he cannot be a warrior. He knows only two things, life and death, nothing much. And his life is always at stake, always gambling. He is a simple man, that's why businessmen could not create a single Mahavir, a single Buddha, a single Krishna or Ram. Even Brahmins could not create a Ram, a Buddha, a Mahavir, because Brahmins are also cunning in a different way. They are also businessmen of a different world, of the others. They deal in business, not of this world, of the other world. Their priesthood is a business. Their religion is a mathematics, arithmetic. They are also clever, very clever, more clever than the businessman, because the businessman is limited to this world. Their cunningness goes beyond. They always think of the other world, the rewards they are going to get there, and their rituals, and their whole mind is concerned how to achieve more pleasure in the other worlds. But they are concerned with pleasure, they are businessmen. So even Brahmins could not create a Buddha. This is strange. All the 24 Tirthankaras of Jains are Kshatriyas, warriors. Buddha is a warrior. Ram and Krishna are warriors. Simple people, with no cunning in their mind, with no arithmetic. They know only two things, life and death. So this simple warrior came to Hakuin to ask, where is heaven and where is hell? And he has not come to learn any doctrine. He wants to know where is the gate, so that I can avoid hell and I can enter heaven. And Hakuin replied in a way only a warrior can understand. If a Brahmin was there, scriptures would have been needed. He should have quoted Vedas, Upanishads, Bible, Quran, then a Brahmin will understand. Because all that exists for a Brahmin is in the scriptures. Scripture is the world. Brahmin lives in the word, the verbal. If a businessman was there, he would not understand the answer that Hakuin has given, the response, the way he acted with this warrior. A businessman always asks, how much is the price of your heaven? What is the cost? And how I can attain it? So what should I do? How much virtuous should I be? What are the coins? What should I do so the heaven can be attained? He always asks for the price. I have heard one beautiful story. It happened in the beginning when God created the world. The God came on the earth and asked different races. He came with 10 commandments, the 10 rules of life. The Jews have given so much significance to those 10 rules, and the Christians also, and the Mohammedans also, because all these 3 religions are Jewish. The source is the Jew, and Jew is the perfect businessman. So God came to ask, He came to Hindus and asked, would you like to have 10 commandments? So the Hindus said, what is the first? We must have a sample, because we don't know what these 10 commandments are. So the God said, thou shalt not kill. Hindus said it will be difficult. Life is complex. Killing is involved. It is a great cosmic play. Birth is there, death is there, fight, competition is there. And if all competition is taken away, the whole thing will become flat, dull. So, we don't like. These commandments will destroy the whole game. So he went to Mohammedans and said, thou shalt not commit adultery. Gave one example to them also, because they also asked, what is the sample? Mohammedan said, this will be difficult. Life will lose all beauty. At least 4 wives are needed. And you call it adultery? This is all that life can give. This is all that a virtuous man should have. And who knows of the other world? This is the world. And you have given it to us to enjoy, and now you have come with these commandments. This is contradictory. So he went around and around, and then he came to Moses, the leader of the Jews. Moses never asked for the sample. The moment God said, I have got 10 commandments, and he was afraid if Moses says no, then nobody is left. He has asked everybody and nobody is ready. So this is the last hope. But when God said, would you like to have these 10 commandments? What Moses asked, he asked how much they cost. This is how a perfect businessman thinks. The first thing is to know what is the cost. And God said nothing. Then Moses said, then I will have 10. If they cost nothing, then there is no problem. That's how 10 commandments were bought. But this samurai was not a Jew. He was not a businessman. He was a warrior. He had come with a simple question. He was not interested in scriptures. He was not interested in caste. He was not interested really in any verbal answer. He was interested in reality. What Hakuin did, he said, "Who are you?" The warrior said, "I am a samurai." It is a very proud thing to be a samurai in Japan. It means a perfect warrior. A man who can give his life in a single minute. He will not hesitate. For him, life and death are just a game. So he said, "I am a samurai. And I am a leader of samurais. And even the emperor pays respect to me." Hakuin laughed and said, "You and a samurai, you look like a beggar." The pride was hurt. The ego hammered. The samurai forgot for what he has come. He took out his sword. He was just going to kill this Hakuin. He forgot that he has come to this master to ask where the gate of heaven and where is the gate of hell. And then samurai laughed and he said, "This is the gate of hell." This sword, this anger, this ego. Here opens the gate. This is what a warrior can understand. Immediately he followed. This is the gate. He put down back his sword in the seat, and Hakuin said, "Here opens the gate of heaven." Hell and heaven are within you. Both the gates are within you. When you are unconscious, behaving unconsciously, the gate of hell. When you become alert and conscious, the gate of heaven. What happened to this samurai? When he was just going to kill Hakuin, was he conscious? Was he conscious what he is going to do? Was he conscious for what he has come here? Every consciousness disappears. When ego takes over, you cannot be alert. Ego is the drug, the intoxicant, which makes you completely unconscious. You act, but the act comes from the unconscious, not from your consciousness. And whenever any act comes from the unconscious, the door of hell is open. Whatsoever you do, if you do it in a way that you are not aware what you are doing, unawareness is the gate of hell. Immediately the samurai became alert. When Hakuin said, "This is the gate, you have already opened it," suddenly the very situation must have created alertness. Just imagine what would happen to you if you were the warrior, if you were the samurai, sword in hand, just going to kill a single moment more, and Hakuin's head would have been cut, separated from the body, a single moment more. Sword in hand. And Hakuin says, "This is the gate of hell." This is not a philosophical answer. No master answers in a philosophical way. Philosophy exists only for mediocre, unenlightened minds. A master responds. The response is not verbal, it is total. Hakuin is playing with danger. This man may have killed him completely. But that is not the point. If you even kill me and that makes you alert, it is worth. Hakuin played the game. A single moment lost and this man would have killed him. In the right moment, Hakuin says, this is the gate. You may not have heard about samurais. If you are going to kill a samurai, your sword is in hand, it is just going to touch his neck. Samurais have a particular sound. This is a mantra. And a samurai is standing before you without any weapon. He cannot protect. He will just say a single word so loudly that all your energy will go and you will become as if dead, a statue. He may say simply, hey! And you will become static and the hand will not move. Because that sound will give a hammering on the heart, which controls everything. The hand will become static. And the mind will be shocked. And all activity will disappear. You cannot kill a samurai even if he is without weapons. Even a sound will become a protection. If you are with a gun, your hands will not move, or you will miss the aim. And just a sound, but the sound has to be made in a particular way, so that it goes deep in the heart and changes completely your activity, the pattern of your activity. This Hakuin, when he said, this is the gate, the samurai must have remained static. In that static state, when all activity ceases, you become alert. Activity, occupation in the mind is unconsciousness. You are continuously occupied. Even for a single moment, you are not unoccupied. Occupation is your drug. That's why when you are without any activity, you feel uneasy. You may start reading the same newspaper again. You will start doing something or other. You may open the window and close it again. Some activity is needed, otherwise your unconsciousness will break. And you will become conscious. So Zen says, if a person can sit 6 hours without doing anything, he will become enlightened. Just for 6 hours. But 6 hours is really too long. 6 minutes, I say, is enough. Even 6 seconds will do. If you can be completely, absolutely without activity for 6 seconds, what will happen? When you are not occupied, you cannot be unconscious. When you are unoccupied, the whole energy becomes consciousness. A tremendous release. The energy is engaged in occupation. Mind is thinking, body is working. You are occupied, the whole energy is moving in activity and is being dissipated into the world. If you think, you are dissipating energy. Because each thought takes energy, needs energy. Continuously you are thinking and dissipating energy for nothing. Just dissipating. Activity needs energy. Your infinite source of energy is being dissipated continuously. You are leaking from everywhere. That's why you feel so weak, so frustrated, so impotent. This impotence feels like helplessness. And you are omnipotent. And you feel impotent. You have all the sources of infinite energy within you. You are related to the cosmic source. But you feel impotent because dissipating continuously. Even for a single moment, if thought stops, activity is no more there. You have become like a statue, unmoving within, without, no movement, either of body or of mind. A tremendous energy is released. Where it will go now? No activity, then it cannot go without. You become a pillar of energy, a flame of energy. Everything becomes conscious inside. Everything is lighted. The whole being is filled with light. This must have happened to this warrior. Stopped, sword in hand, Hakuin just before him, a master, an enlightened master. The eyes of Hakuin laughing, the face smiling, and the gate of hell open. He understood. The sword went back into the sea. While putting the sword back into the sea, he must have been totally silent. Peaceful. The anger has disappeared, and the energy that was moving in the anger has become silence. If you suddenly awake in the middle of anger, you will feel such a peace you have never felt before. Because energy was moving, suddenly it stops. You will have a silence, immediate silence. You fall into your inner being. And the fall is so sudden, you will become aware. It is not a slow fall. It is so sudden that you cannot remain unaware. You can remain unaware with only routine things, gradual things. You move so slowly that you don't feel the movement. Sudden movement, from activity to no activity, from thought to no thought, from mind to no mind. This warrior realized. As the sword was going back into the sea, Hakuin said, and here opens the door of heaven. Silence is the door. Inner peace is the door. Non-violence is the door. Love, compassion is the door. Heaven and hell are not geographical. They are psychological. They are your psychology. And this is not a question to be decided on the last day of judgment. Human mind is so clever to avoid, to escape. Christians, Mohammedans, Jews, they have created a concept of the last day when everybody is to be judged. You will be taken out of your grave, judged, and then those who follow Jesus Those who have been good behaved, they will go to the heaven. And those who have misbehaved, those who have not followed Jesus, those who have not been in the church, they should be thrown in the hell. And this hell is going to be eternal. Christian hell is one of the most ridiculous things. Eternal. No end to it then. This seems to be just injustice, sheer injustice. Whatsoever sin you may have committed, no punishment can be just which is eternal. Bertrand Russell somewhere has joked that if I calculate all my sins that I have committed and sins that I have not committed, only brooded over, if they are also included, then the hardest judge cannot send me to jail more than for 4 years. And Christianity sends you forever. Bertrand Russell has written a book, Why I Am Not a Christian. And this is one of his arguments, and a beautiful argument, because the whole thing seems to be ridiculous. And Christians believe only in one life. So if Hindus say that you have committed millions of sins in millions of lives, it may even look logical to send a person for eternal hell, but Christians, they believe only in one life. A 70 years life, how can you commit so much sin to deserve eternal hell? If you continuously commit sin every moment of 70 years, then too eternal hell doesn't look just. The whole thing seems to be revengeful. So God is not throwing you in the hell because of your sins, just because you were disobedient. Just because you were rebellious. Just because you didn't listen to Him. This seems to be a revenge. Revenge can be unjust. Punishment, it seems ridiculous. But human mind has created a last judgment day. Why? Why wait for the last judgment day? Mind always postpones, pushes things ahead. The problem is not right here and now. It is a question of last judgment day. We will see. The problem is not urgent. We will see what happens. And there are ways and means. In the last moment you can follow Jesus. In the last moment you can surrender and say to God that I was a sinner. Confess and be forgiven. And God is infinite compassion. And God is love. So He is going to forgive you. Christians have evolved a technique of confession. You commit sin, go to the priest and confess. Confessed, you are relieved. If you confess honestly, you are ready to commit it again. Because the past sin is forgiven. And once you know the trick, once you know the key, that you can commit a sin and can be forgiven, who is going to prevent you from committing more? So the same people go on coming every Sunday to the priest, and they go on confessing. And sometimes ego is such that people have confessed sins that they have never committed. Ego is such that if you start confessing, you may be so much involved in it that you may start confessing sins you have not committed. Because to be a great sinner is such ego fulfilling. And then, greater the sinners, greater will be the forgiveness of the divine. It is said that Leo Tolstoy has written his autobiographical notes. And those who have been studying Leo Tolstoy deeply say that many sins that he says he has committed, he never committed. He is enjoying. Jean-Jacques Rousseau has written Confessions, his autobiography, and the sins he says he never committed. And the same is the possibility with Mahatma Gandhi. In his autobiography, the things that he goes on depicting that he committed may be exaggerations. Because this is how the ego works. Whatsoever you say, it goes to the extreme. And then there is a beautiful feeling that I have confessed. And now I am relieved. Now I am forgiven. I was a sinner in the past, but now I am a saint. And if you were a small sinner, how can you be a great saint? To be a great saint, you must have been a great sinner. Last judgment, confession, are tricks of the mind. Heaven and hell are not in the end, they are here and now. Every moment the door opens. Every moment you go on wavering between hell and heaven. It is a moment-to-moment question. It is urgent. In a single moment you can move from hell to heaven and from heaven to hell. This is the meaning of this story. In a single moment, not even a single moment has passed. And Hakuin says this is the gate of hell. Now the gate of hell opens. And not a single moment has passed. And he says, look, this is the gate of heaven. Heaven and hell are not very